Hey Yardners, it's Destry. Welcome back to my yard. Today I'm doing kind of a quick and easy project. I'm going to be updating my last Vego Garden Bed with some winter interest. It is a chilly autumn day. It is pretty much the last day of October, well, second to last day of October, and we have had some freezing temperatures at night, but I do have some winter interest to put in my last Vego Garden Bed. If I get that done today, I'm also going to plant up just a few more tulip bulbs in containers. So that's my projects on the junket today. Is that what they say on the junket? Is that right? Anyway, let me show you what I'm going to do today. So I've got all my Vego Garden Beds. If you haven't seen the videos, I will link them down below. And I've planted them all up with cold hardy plants, and even though we've had a little bit of frost, everything seems to be doing pretty well. That one is filled with bulbs. We've got this one that has the nice purple colors, this one here with, again, kind of fall and winter stuff, and this is my last one that I'm going to be planting up today. So I've got a couple from Monrovia, a couple evergreens. So these are a Donald Gold Monterey Cypress. And then I have a couple heucheras or coral bells, and they are actually in bloom, so they're really pretty. And then I already planted up just a couple of these cabbage, these little purple cabbage along the front. So I'm just gonna pop these in the ground today. It shouldn't take me too long. And then if I get that done, I'm gonna move on to one more project of planting up some tulip bulbs. So let's get started. So for my next project today, I have some bulbs to plant up. So I have some tulip bulbs that I got kind of on sale. It was like a buy one, get one. And so these ones are really pretty. They're like a red and white mix, and I got 2 bags of those. And then I also grabbed these, which there's not as many of these. I think there's only like 4 or 5, 1, 2, like maybe 6. And then these really big alliums, which I think there's only 3 or 4 of these. So yeah, there's only like 3 of these alliums. So I think I'm gonna mix these together because I don't have quite as many of those. So what I did is I went around my yard and I gathered up any plastic pots. So I don't wanna do terracotta because these pots are gonna like hang out all winter just outside, and then come spring, I'll have some beautiful blooms. So I definitely wanna use plastic so that because terracotta can freeze and crack basically. So I found a really pretty green plastic pot that I have, and then just a couple other just nursery pots. So just a black basic pot, which they don't have to be that pretty of a pot, honestly, because I might just use these for cut flowers anyway once they bloom. And then I can always, dig up the bulbs and transplant them into my yard if I want, or just discard the bulbs depending on if I end up liking the tulips. So got a couple black nursery pots, one prettier green pot, and I'm gonna get these bulbs planted up today. So I've got one more task in my yard today, and that is to sow some allium seeds. So if you haven't seen my video on collecting seeds in the fall, I will link that below. But basically I collected these seeds from some of my allium plants, and they're really cute. They're like these little black shiny seeds. Well, turns out that these alliums need cold stratification in order to bloom next spring, which means I need to plant them now in the fall. So I'm gonna plant them now. They also need some light to germinate. So basically I'm gonna sprinkle them around 2 garden beds that already have some alliums in them. And then I'm just gonna kind of scratch them into the soil, and I guess we'll see next year if I get a few alliums, new allium plants. So alliums are from the onion family. They're basically a bulb, and they bloom up and they have these circular purple, usually purple flowers, and they're really beautiful and very like Alice in Wonderland-esque. So it'd be cool if I could grow some bulbs from these seeds. So I'm gonna give it a shot. So I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle these in a couple garden beds next. So the last thing I'm gonna do in my yard today is check on my tubers of my dahlias that I dug up the other day. So I dug them up, I rinsed them with the hose, and I've been kind of just letting them dry in my shed. So I wanna see how they're looking and see if I have the courage to try to divide them right now, or if I wanna wait till spring, but I wanna check on them and see how they're doing. So let's go check the dahlia tubers. So I kept the dahlia tubers in the shed because I know that they'll be protected from any frost or freezing, but I just want to check and see how they're looking. And they are looking drier. I would say the dirt, I'm kind of waiting to see if the dirt will get more dry so that it will flake off of here a little bit better. Basically, from what I've been researching, in order to regrow a tuber, you need kind of the linear tuber part here, a neck, and an eye. So it's the part about finding the eye that I'm kind of unsure about, because this is new to me, but I think the eye is supposed to look like a little bump or something on the top. So I'm not sure if I have the wherewithal to try to like divide these, but I think I'm gonna let them dry for a few more days, and then I'm gonna cut off the stalks down low, and then I think I'm just gonna store them in a paper bag, and then I might try to divide some of them. I know ones like this where it's like broken off, like that's not gonna be any good. So if I decide to go ahead and divide them, which I might do, then I'll go ahead and do a video on that and see what I can come up with. But there's lots of video tutorials on how to do this, but I am definitely not an expert, but I kind of want to give it a shot. But see, I've still got a lot of dirt in here that's like really wet mud. So I'm gonna wait, let these hang out and dry a little bit longer. In fact, I might spread them out a little bit. My husband's thrilled that all these plants are in with his gardening tools. But yeah, so I'm gonna let this dry for a few more days, and then back in here I've got my new Vego Garden Beds. They're the tall ones, and I'm so excited to get them built. I'm really wanting them to get built this fall, but it might end up being a spring project. And then you can see that I stored, I mean, it's a hot mess in here, but I stored a lot of my terracotta pots in here because I don't want them to freeze and crack. So shed is always a good place to put things that, you don't know where else to put them. So anyway, a couple more days on those tubers before they dry out, I think. Real quick, I just wanted to show you this furniture cover that I got from QVC. I'll try to see if I can find it and link it below. It's pretty cool. It's huge. So under here I have a love seat, 2 chairs, all my cushions, and then this on the top is my egg chair. So everything is tucked away for the winter. We've got our firewood here, so it's easy access. And then I just left these 2 out because I do like to come out here and sit down. And, I don't really care if these chairs get a little bit messed up. I've had them for a long time. We also stored our table, our glass table, and our, patio chairs under the cover. So a few years back, we had this cover built on our existing roof line, and it has been so awesome. So everything's kind of protected under here, but I just wanted to show you that cover because I thought it was pretty clever to just it's kind of like a glorified tarp. It is water resistant and it's really thick, and they had a couple different patterns. So at least when I'm looking out my window, I'm not looking at like an ugly brown tarp, you know, it's kind of, at least it's got a fun pattern. So anyway, I'm pretty happy with that from QVC. So I'll see if I can find that link and link that down below. But some people had some questions about that and why there's like a big mountain of blue on my patio. So that's what it is. Everything's stored away for the winter. Okay, so here is what I got done. I got this last Vego Garden Bed planted up. And what I love about this is I can look out my window and see these little evergreens. Hopefully the heuchera will stay good for a while. And then I've got my other Vigos planted with my fall and winter interests. Now I know that I will be like pulling this stuff out at some point next spring and doing all my cut flowers here. But I decided I wanted to like not just leave these empty all winter, but I wanted to treat them almost like big container plantings. So, you know, I wanted to have this like fall and winter interest so that I'm still looking at something pretty, even though it's not a cut flower garden traditionally. It's more of like, you know, a big container planting. So, and all of these plants I can pull out, most of them I can pull out and, you know, transplant into other places in my landscape or give them away. For instance, these trees that are going to get huge at some point, I might, you know, my mother-in-law has some property, I might gift those to her and go plant them out there or something. But for now, I just love the way that this looks. And then over here, I was able to get the rest of my bulbs planted up. So I've got these 3 pots I planted today, again, all plastic. I've got all my tulips in here. I've got these 2 over here have daffodils in them. And then I've got a couple more over here. Now I moved these over here because they don't have as good of drainage holes. So I put them underneath the nice hat here. Oh, looks cool. Looks like a mushroom head. Anyway, these get rain, but they're kind of underneath the cover so they won't get soaking wet, and hopefully the bulbs won't like rot or anything. But they do have drainage holes or drainage, but they're just not as, I don't know, proficient in draining, I guess. But these ones all have holes, so I'm just gonna leave these here, let them get rain and cold and snow, and in the spring I'll have gorgeous blooms. Also, if you haven't seen the video that my husband and I did on winterizing our greenhouse, I will also link that, or you should look that one up if you have a greenhouse or are interested in that. We did a video on how to winterize the greenhouse, and boy, it's definitely staying warm in there right now. So all good things. Guys, from Milo, say hi Milo, from Milo and Max, who just got back from the groomers. You're looking so handsome. Milo and Max, the Aussie Doodles. We'd like to say thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and if you need me or you need us, we'll be hanging out in the yard. See you next time. Bye.